Hello, this is Paul, the Oaken Knight, coming back to you with something a bit different. But first, I'd like to thank everyone for the wonderful support I received for my overview video of A Most Fearful Sacrifice. Thank you all for your viewing time, subscriptions, and supportive comments that I received. I will most definitely follow this one up with a more detailed treatment. But for today, I will be treading the dangerous waters of amateur game designer by proposing a variant, or at least a framework for a variant, for Ares Games' World War I air combat game Wings of Glory. I will follow this up with a Part 2 video demonstrating the new rules in The Last Flight of Werner Voss. For those of you who are not aware, Wings of Glory provides a rule set and fully painted miniatures, stands, and aircraft maneuver/performance cards for players to have at it in the unfriendly skies of World War I Europe. From what I have experienced, the majority of games are pick-up multiplayer games with maybe 6 or 8 people divided between 2 teams, performing pure air superiority missions, dogfighting over the trenches. For sure, that can be fun, but I'm a gamer who wants more of a historical context to their game. That could be a full campaign, or simply a simulation of a single historical engagement. It doesn't matter. One thing in particular that bothered me about Wings of Glory was that the game centers on aircraft performance rather than the pilots. Remember Chuck Yeager's remark that it is the man, not the machine, that determines the victor in aerial combat. While the game as published has options and add-ons to improve ace pilot performance, aces still seem to fall from the sky at an alarming rate and consequently do not engender the gut-wrenching fear that they should. Ask yourself, why did Manfred von Richthofen paint his aircraft red? Answer, because he wanted his opponents to know who they were fighting. To Richthofen, fear was as important a weapon as the Spandau machine guns. Consider von Richthofen's career as a single-seat pursuit fighter spanned about 2.5 years, from September 1915 to April 1918, about 900 days. Assuming he flew about 1.5 missions per day for 700 of those days, his career would have played out over 1,050 missions. Let's call it an even 1,000. Let's further assume that only 25% of the missions resulted in serious aerial combat. So we have 250 encounters. During the 250 missions, he experienced serious aerial combat. There were 80 credited victories, and von Richthofen was shot down twice. So in baseball terms, that would make the Baron a lifetime .320 hitter with in excess of a 99% survival rate per sortie. Truly, the Red Baron was a pilot to be feared, a guaranteed Hall of Famer. So how can we model the Red Baron's performance but still preserve a reasonable chance that he might not make it home? Good news. With a few rule mods, we can do exactly that, plus add a few more rules for greater tactical feel and hopefully fun. What follows is a set of suggested rules, emphasis on suggested, that I use to make it possible for aces to have some longevity, preserving their mortality, but above all putting the fear of the Kaiser, or king, or whatever, into their opponents. Use what ideas you want, don't use what you don't want, and add your own. That's the fun of being your own amateur game designer. First to consider is situational awareness. Experienced pilots, especially ace pilots, have greater awareness of what is going on around them than a nugget. In his post-war memoirs, Ace of Aces, Eddie Rickenbacker, wrote about his very first combat patrol. In it, he dutifully followed his flight lead, and after the mission was over, his leader asked him, "So what did you see?" Rickenbacker's answer, "I didn't see anything. We had the sky to ourselves." Then his lead asks, "So you didn't see the German two-seater with the two-ship escort over no man's land?" No, he replied. "Or the four-ship pursuit flight patrolling to our south?" No, sir." And so on. The point being that if the likes of Eddie Rickenbacker had to begin with a lint-filled clue bag, ace pilots have a huge advantage. For now, I'll spare you the lecture on the OODA loop. That will be for extra credit. The rules as written require all aircraft to plot maneuver cards 2 moves in advance. Players select one maneuver card from their aircraft-specific deck and add it to the end of the queue, and reveal the oldest card in the sequence each turn. Rule Change 1. Each pilot is assigned a skill rating that ranges from green to legendary ace. Pilots plot moves in advance based on their skills. Green pilots plot 3 turns in advance. Average pilots plot 2 turns in advance, per the standard rules. Ace pilots plot 1 move in advance. Legendary ace pilots have no advance pre-plotting requirement. They still need to commit their selected card before opposing aircraft reveal, unless tailing, but they have no pre-designated card queue to deal with. The card they put down is the card they're going to play that same turn. Next issue. Aces did not fall from the sky very often. Yes, many of them died, but not before leaving their mark on the war. Rule Change 2. Aces have 2 defensive advantages. 2.1. All aces nullify 1 special advantage outcome per turn, including gun jams. 2.2. Aces play defensive cards from the same attack deck that is targeting them. Aces play 1 such card per turn. Legendary aces play 2. Cards are allocated to a specific attacker before any cards are revealed. Legendary aces may split their 2 cards between 2 attackers. When cards are revealed, aces may, at their option, substitute their defensive card or cards for the attacker's cards. Substitute cards take effect exactly as if the attacker had drawn the substitute card to begin with. The idea is to reduce damage received by the ace, but not nullify it completely. Between card substitution and special damage nullification, it is very hard to shoot down an ace with 1 shot. Rule 3. Aces and legendary aces draw 1 extra attack card whenever they fire. The extra card may never jam guns. It is a pure benefit only. These rule changes are all you need to make your aces fearsome. Here are other changes I used in my demonstration. Rule Change 4. Extreme range. Aircraft may fire out to 1.5 times the range gauge with a base to hit modifier of 0 damage cards. Rule Change 5. Ammunition. Each gun position, not each gun, have 20 ammunition points. For example, 2-seater aircraft having both a forward and rear firing arc have 20 ammo points for each of the 2 firing arcs. Once exhausted, the associated gun position may not fire again for the remainder of the flight. Rule Change 6. Burst length. When firing, gun positions use any one of 3 possible burst lengths to resolve the shot. First, short burst. Ammo consumption, 1 point. Fire effect. Draw 1 fewer attack card. Normal burst. Ammo consumption, 2 points. Fire effect, as per normal rules, possibly modified by ace status, extreme range, etc. Long burst. Ammo consumption, 4 points. Fire effect. Draw 1 additional attack card plus an additional card whose only effect is used to jam the guns. Note, long bursts make it much more likely that guns will jam and they will deplete ammo rapidly. Rule Change 7. Special maneuvers. 7.1. Barrel roll. Aircraft initiate a barrel roll by plotting the following maneuvers in order. 1. Straight and level move. 2. Side slip left or right. 3. Side slip opposite direction of the prior slip. As many alternating side slip maneuvers may be played as desired. The barrel roll is announced by the player when the straight maneuver is revealed and takes effect with the first side slip. While in effect, attackers receive 1 fewer attack card to which they are otherwise entitled. Exception. The defensive benefit of the barrel roll is negated by an attacking aircraft that is tailing the defender in a barrel roll and is also in a barrel roll itself. 7.2. Fokker DR1 flat turn. The Fokker DR1 had the ability to pivot while in straight flight, essentially allowing it to fly sideways for very short periods in a flat turn. Requirement: Fokker DR1 must be flying straight and level. Effect: the firing arc of the DR1 executing a flat turn is extended to the 3-9 line, that is wingtip to wingtip, of the aircraft. Pilots firing while using a flat turn shoot with one fewer attack card than they are otherwise entitled for the shot. And one final area of change, let's tweak the special damage effects just a bit. Rule Change 8, Special Damage Effects. 8.1, Fire. Effect: aircraft set afire suffer the result of one Class A attack each turn for 3 turns, exactly as in the base rules. However, aircraft on fire are also subject to all special damage, including the fire result, which would reset the burn clock on the affected aircraft back to 3 turns. 8.2, Flight Control Damage. The temporary effect of rudder control damage in the base game is replaced with permanent flight control damage. First instance effect: the affected aircraft may not plot a directional move, that is, a left turn followed immediately by a right turn or vice versa, without a straight maneuver in between. Second instance effect: in addition to the banking problems, the aircraft may no longer perform what the game calls steep maneuvers. I prefer calling them stress maneuvers, but it is what it is. Third instance effect: aircraft destroyed. 8.3, Smoke. In addition to the effects outlined in the base rules, smoking aircraft lose one attack card when firing. The shooter just can't see through the smoke. Also, as per the normal rules, aircraft on fire are also considered to be smoking. Okay, that's it. With a little imagination, I am sure you can invent additional rules to bring more simulation value to this excellent game. Track gun jams by individual gun instead of gun position. Just have the plane use a lower powered attack deck while they have a single gun jam. How about simulating circular magazine reloads on guns like the Lewis? Maybe 5 ammo points per magazine, and the pilot can only reload during a straight and level maneuver. Making up rules is easy. Just remember it is supposed to be a fast and fun game, so don't go overboard. Okay, we are now ready to put these rules to a playtest. Part 2 will put the legendary ace Werner Voss in his final flight against 6 other aircraft with the possibility of help from but a solitary albatross. In reality, Voss fought furiously for over 8 minutes, holding each of his opponent's aircraft before succumbing to the numbers. But with our rule changes, maybe, just maybe, he will survive. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have not enlisted yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can keep closer track of what I'm up to. It helps the channel and you. And please leave your comments. I enjoy hearing from you. But for now, this is Paul, the Oaken Knight, wishing you a pleasant evening.